it too loud right there? Good, okay.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare bursting gay proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner
Good morning. I would like to welcome you on behalf of the graduating class of 2014. There are a number of dignitaries here today for NCSSM's 33rd commencement, whom I would like to briefly introduce. Please hold your applause until all have been recognized. NCSSM Chancellor Todd Roberts, Commencement Speaker Matt Welch, Chair NCSSM Board of Trustees Henry Kuo, UNC Board of Governors member Joan Perry, Vice Chancellor for Academic Programs Steve Washaw, Dean of Counseling Services Gail Hudson, Director of Admissions Latita Mason, NCSSM Directors Emeritus John Frederick, Phil Nelson, Board of Trustees members Brian Bailey, Marjorie Benbow, Paula Benson, Steve Griffin, Tom Looney, Bobby Maynard, Tom Williams. Foundation Board members Karen Levert, Division Administrators Robert Allen, Richard Alston, Melissa Tebow, Katie Wagstaff, Brock Winslow, Legal Counsel Mike Delafield, Registrar Kathleen Allen, Director of the Library Robin Boats, Director of Institutional Research Jeff Coltrane, Director of Distance Education Ross White, Director of Athletics Greg Jarvis, Academic Deans Elizabeth Moose, Amy Scheck, Ursula Sims, Faculty Senate President Cora Wiley, Staff Council President Crystal Woods, Alumni Board Vice President Anna Shepard.
Well, good morning. Welcome to family, friends, faculty and staff, students, members of the Board of Trustees, Governor Perry, Dr. Welsh, and honored guests. Again, welcome. Members of the class of 2014, we are here today to celebrate what you have achieved and the bright futures you have before you. Before we continue, I would like to take just a moment to recognize all the members of our facilities team here at NCSSM for transforming this lawn into a beautiful setting for today's commencement, and to all of our faculty and staff who've worked so hard to plan today's events. It's a monumental task putting this on, so thank you to all of you. Class of 2014, in a short while you'll leave this beautiful lawn with your high school diplomas, the 33rd class to do so. As you prepare to receive your diploma, I hope you are reflecting on what it took for you to achieve this milestone in your life. Today we are here with a feeling of great pride. I know our faculty and staff are proud to have had an opportunity to get to know you and work with you, and it has been my great honor and pleasure. Parents and families, I know you're filled with great pride in your daughter, son, brother, or sister who will graduate from the North Carolina School of Science and Mathematics on this beautiful morning. Students, graduating from high school marks one of the major milestones in your young lives. I hope you have or will take a little time to reflect back more than 2 years ago when you decided to attend NCSSM. This was a bold decision. Recently, I was talking with an NCSSM alumnus, and we were talking about why he decided to attend NCSSM and what attending the school has meant to him. In that conversation, he mentioned that for him, it was the challenge of the unknown, wanting to know what was next, what he did not already know. He, like you, had done about all he could and exhausted the challenges at his home high school. He was at the top of his class, but that was not enough for him. He wanted the next and greater challenge. However, that's not everybody. For many, the success they know is enough. Those people are not you. Each of you knew great success, yet chose to accept the challenge of the unknown to accept the greater challenge. In the class of 2014, you accepted this challenge, and you have added not only to your success over these past 2 years, but to who you are and who you will be. Today is a time to celebrate your achievement and accomplishments thus far, whether the accomplishments were in the classroom, in academic competitions, in research, in athletics, or in the serving the community and helping others. The class of 2014 has accomplished much, and you have left a lasting legacy at NCSSM. However, accomplishments are not just those that can be measured by medals or trophies or records, but those things that register deeply in who you are and what you've learned, like caring for, collaborating with, and supporting one another. It is these accomplishments that have most impressed me. While I've been astounded many a time by the quality of the work you've produced, many more times I've been heartened by who you are day in and day out on this campus. Each graduate here today owes a great deal to others who are here with you celebrating your accomplishment. I'd like to take a second to recognize those who've helped you along the way. To our teachers and counselors and administrators and staff who've contributed in so many different ways to the success of each graduate here today, I applaud you and thank you for your caring and all you've done for your students over the past 2 years. And I'd also like to take at this moment to an opportunity to recognize a very special member of the NCSSM team, Dr. Joanne Barber, who has given so much to our students, families, and all of us who've worked at NCSSM over the past 28 years. Dr. Barber is retiring this year and will be greatly missed. And to the parents and guardians and family members and friends who have nurtured and supported these graduates for a great deal longer than 2 years, I applaud and thank you for the love and support you have shown them and the foundation you laid for this day. Again, I would like to welcome all of you this morning as we celebrate the class of 2014, including all of our family and friends from across the country and world watching the ceremony via live stream. Welcome to the class of 2014 commencement. At this time, I'd like to introduce Dr. Joan Perry. She is a member of the UNC Board of Governors, and Dr. Perry is here today to provide greetings and present the Board of Governors Award for Excellence in Teaching. Dr. Perry.
Thank you, and good morning. And may I say, it is a great privilege for me to be with you here this morning. On behalf of the entire University of North Carolina Board of Governors and its President, Thomas Ross, it is my great privilege to bring greetings to today's graduates, their families, to this school's distinguished faculty and staff, alumni, Board of Trustees, and members of the Platform Party. Graduates, congratulations to you. Your education at the North Carolina School of Science and Math has provided you the knowledge and skills that you will need to achieve success in this ever-changing, complex time. And wherever and whatever your future endeavors may be, we encourage you to stay connected to this wonderful institution. It is also my privilege today to present this year's Board of Governors Award for Excellence in Teaching to one of your most outstanding faculty members. Established by the Board of Governors in 1994 to underscore the importance of teaching and to reward great teachers across the university, the awards are given annually to a tenured faculty member from each UNC campus. Recipients are nominated by special committees on their home campuses and selected by the Board of Governors Committee of Personnel and Tenure. Each winner receives a bronze medallion and a cash reward. Chancellor Roberts And Jonathan Bennett, would you come forward? Explorer, guide, motivator, Jonathan Bennett is the kind of teacher, scientist, and researcher that his students want to emulate. Over his 17 years at NCSSM, he has provided an example of responsible scholarship and great enthusiasm for teaching and learning that challenges his students to become exceptional thinkers, problem solvers, and investigators. Dr. Bennett graduated magna cum laude in physics and mathematics from Vanderbilt University and earned both his MS and PhD in physics at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. He was awarded postdoctoral fellowships in the Department of Physics at Tohoku University in Sendai, Japan, and the Bartol Research Institute at the University of Delaware. He also served as a postdoctoral research associate in the Department of Physics and Astronomy at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. At NCSSM, Dr. Bennett has taught a broad range of physics courses from introductory to advanced research and developed new courses in fluids, thermodynamics, electromagnetism, and optics, as well as research in physics. In support of NCSSM's research and outreach mission, Jonathan has mentored over 80 research students, a number of whom have presented their work at the Intel International Science and Engineering Fair, the Siemens Competition in Math, Science, and Technology, and the Conrad Spirit of Innovation Challenge. He developed and served as the co-principal investigator for a multi-year grant-funded summer opportunity for numerous North Carolina students, the research experience in chemistry, astronomy, and physics at NCSSM. Dr. Bennett has served as the physics discipline coordinator, the vice president of the Faculty Senate, and the chair of the School Improvement Group. But he is perhaps best known by high-achieving students as the faculty advisor of the innovative Broad Street Scientific, NCSSM's own Journal of Student STEM Research. In all of his various capacities, teacher, mentor, and colleague, and role model to both students and faculty, Jonathan Bennett has proven himself well deserving of this prestigious award recognition. Jonathan Bennett, we celebrate your outstanding personal achievement and professional achievement and salute your demonstrated commitment to great teaching and inspiring a new generation of learners. In honoring you, we also acknowledge the more than 14,000 dedicated faculty members who teach over 220,000 students throughout the University of North Carolina system.
As we consider each of our graduates, honor students, and do not rank or determine a valedictorian, the student speaker for every NCSSM commencement is chosen in an essay competition open to all seniors and judged anonymously by a school-wide committee under the sponsorship of academic programs. This year's student speaker is Parth Tucker. Parth's parents are Babita and Chethan Tucker. His hometown is Charlotte, North Carolina, where he attended South Mecklenburg High School. Academic interests include research in chemistry, renewable energy, and the environment. He is also very interested in world history and religions. His extracurricular activities at NCSSM have included service as the president of NCSSM Student Government, a chemistry editor at the Broad Street Scientific, and a former staff sergeant in the U.S. Civil Air Patrol. His summer plans including visiting family in India, then working as a researcher at the Weizmann Institute of Science in Israel. This fall, Parth will be attending Harvard College, although he's not yet sure what he wants to study. I now present to you this year's commencement speaker, Parth Tucker.
All right. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Brothers and sisters of 2014, parents, grandparents, aunts and uncles, our distinguished guests and speaker, welcome to our school, to our home, for this momentous celebration of achievement and age. Now, this celebration is not of the usual sort. It's not just to say goodbye and thank you and to leave so many memories behind. Rather, we are gathered here today for a more solemn purpose, to be commenced. As we graduate from NCSSM, we mark the end of a long and hard-fought journey, but much more importantly, mark the start of another extraordinary one. At this point of inflection, we pause to assimilate all that we have learned over the past 2 years, reflect on our experiences over the last 13, and cherish the friendships we have gained throughout. We do not, however, stop here or perceive this moment as a minimum or a maximum. It is truly a point of inflection. Now, our experience as the class of 2014 has been shaped first and foremost by the companionship of those around us. From our roommates and hallmates to podmates and classmates, faculty and staff to SLIs and PFM cafeteria workers, our learning experience at NCSSM has been defined almost entirely by the diversity, drive, and excellence amidst our community. It almost feels like yesterday that we were welcomed and cheered in on move-in day, that we played Ride That Pony with seniors who gained delight from our embarrassment, and that we first met our roommates after an egregious few weeks of Facebooking. Yet at that moment, I would have never imagined that the senior who volunteered to carry my fridge upstairs would soon become one of my closest friends, a confidant, an advisor, an ally, or that one of my neighbors on hall would hail from an incredible story of persevering through struggles at home and still striving for success. Such casual connections, discovering extraordinary talent and stories amidst seemingly typical diversity, have come to define my NCSSM experience, as I hope they have yours. The teachers are undeniably great. The academic opportunities are far beyond those of our home schools, and the food is, well, the food is free. But our camaraderie as unicorns, as SNMers, and as the class of 2014 is the one thing that truly makes this place irreplaceable. To invoke a perhaps familiar analogy, we are like a school of fish, fish that must just keep swimming together as one to overcome any obstacle. From striving for excellence in sports, academics, and research, to serving our community through charity drives and volunteer work, our class realizes that each individual here today plays an essential role in the fabric of NCSSM. No one gets left behind, and everyone benefits from another's success. Indeed, Dr. Kenneth Gibbs, our 2012 convocation speaker, described this perfectly in the first speech that we ever heard as incoming juniors, together as a class. Just keep swimming, he said. Do what you love and worry about the numbers later. At first, I was incredulous. What about ambition, cutthroat competition, SAT scores and grades? Wasn't that the vetted formula to get into college and to get a good job afterwards and to get married and start a family after that and to retire with enough money to travel the world and live in Hawaii and, oh, so much more. But maybe that's thinking too far ahead. The point is that wasn't this the formula to ultimately be happy and content? I thought I had it down straight coming into NCSSM. But after hearing Dr. Gibbs that first day in August, I decided to take a chance. I took his words to heart, as many of us did, and began to pursue a variety of academic interests, intellectual pursuits, and friendships with people whose backgrounds were so vastly different from mine. I felt free to try so many new things, and discovered that I could achieve much more than I would have ever imagined to be possible at my home school. Turns out that Dr. Gibbs was absolutely right. Everything works out for the best if we do what we love and with the spirit of camaraderie, working not only for ourselves but for the betterment of others, looking out for what is fair and what is just before looking out for our own ambition. In this way, we can truly strive for fulfillment, to ultimately love the work that we do. As Thursday's award ceremony showed us, this mindset has already taken our class to unprecedented heights, so why don't we bet on ourselves yet again, hoping, trusting that we will only excel further in the future. Along the way, let us never forget those who helped us through busy all-nighters, through hurtful defeats and unexpected successes, who kept our minds and bodies tempered through what was undoubtedly a tumultuous time. Unicorns we were, unicorns we are, and unicorns we will forever be, no matter where each of us goes in life. As long as we remain pointed together, there is nothing stopping our class of 2014 from making the world a better place. Now, while our bubble at SMATH may have been nice and cozy, we may never forget that the real world too is too a bubble. Whoa, that got jumbled up. While our bubble at SMATH may have been nice and cozy, we must never forget that the real world too is a bubble. Support others as they may support you. Pursue what you love and cherish others' pursuits. Lend congratulations with earnest and consolations with sympathy. Remember NCSSM as a sort of practice ground for life that it was. With all its life and drama, failure and success, Chubbies and the PFM, realize that the lessons that we have learned here become more rather than less relevant moving forward. For to be commenced from NCSSM means that accepting the greater challenge is now our motto rather than our school's. So finally today we end it just as we began, tired, anxious, and filled with bittersweet emotions. We're excited to see what lies ahead, yet sorry to leave so much behind. No matter what happens, always remember to just keep swimming. We made it through NCSSM. We survived Amstead and conquered physics. Nothing is as impossible now as it ever was, and soon we'll have a diploma to prove it. So prove it we must, prove it we have here, and prove it we will in the future. For 2014 and for each other, let this moment thus serve as a beginning rather than an end, a true exercise of commencement. Fully commemorates our significance, the significance of our high school graduation. Wow. Because while we may graduate from several schools, we can only commence this journey once. And after having experienced this life that we love here at NCSSM, we have every reason to just keep swimming in the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Parth, for articulating what we are as a class undoubtedly feeling intrinsically. After all we've come through as a class, at NCSSM, which is our home, our community, and our experience that has changed our lives. I'd now like to introduce our commencement speaker, Dr. Matthew Welsh. Dr. Matthew Welsh is a computer scientist and software engineer at Google, where he heads up a team focused on mobile web performance. He's a native of Wilson, North Carolina, and NCSSM is proud to call him one of our own, graduating in 1992. Dr. Welsh received a BS from Cornell University in 1996, his master's and PhD degrees from the University of California, Berkeley in 1999 and 2002, respectively. He spent the 1996-97 school years at the University of Cambridge Computer Laboratory and at the University of Glasgow. Before working at Google, Dr. Welsh was the Gordon McKay Professor of Computer Science at Harvard and authored books on the Linux operating system, several Linux how-tos, and authored chapters ranging from volcano monitoring, addressing data quality through iterative deployment, protocol designs for wireless sensor networks, to a pre-hospital database system for emergency medical services. Dr. Welsh has also authored numerous journal articles, and his list of conference and workshop presentations fills 6 typed pages. Dr. Welsh's research interests span a broad range of topics in the space of operating systems, networks, distributed systems, embedded systems, and programming languages. Today, Dr. Welsh and his family reside in Seattle, Washington. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Matt Welsh back to NCSSM.
Great. Thanks, David. Good morning. I'm freaked out. Is that okay? All right. Students, professors, parents, mom. Hi, Mom. My mom's over there. It's most humbling to stand here today. I think the school administration is getting back at me for all of my misdeeds while I was a student here so many years ago. Either that or the fact that I'm standing here is proof there is no such thing as a permanent record. Okay, so, I mean, if they had one on me, they would have looked at it and said, maybe this is not the guy we should be inviting back to speak. So, for those of you who stayed up really way too late last night, and I see some of these guys in the front here about to nod up, there is hope for you yet. All right, so before we begin, I want to get one thing out of the way. Some of you may be wondering what this thing is that I'm wearing. This is called Google Glass. This is basically a cell phone that you wear on your head because it's so fashionable. In some neighborhoods in San Francisco, wearing this will either make you completely irresistible to a member of the opposite sex or get you punched in the face. It has lots of amazing features. It has this little screen that I can look up here. It can feed me a constant stream of information about all of you. Actually, yes, you made a B- in history last year. The shoes that you ordered on Amazon are coming this week. You're welcome. So I have to do one thing because this is going to be the only time I ever get a chance to do this in my life. So I turn it on. I can say, okay, Glass. Let's try again. It doesn't want to wake up. All right, I'll just take the picture then. That's easier. All right. All right, so it's really remarkable to be back here. It's 22 years. 22 years ago, I sat where you guys are sitting right now, mostly kind of asleep. I had the right sense of mind to wear sunglasses so nobody could see how red my eyes were. I actually don't remember a lot about the graduation ceremony. Dr. Roberts was asking about that. I said, I don't know. Because you see, I'd stayed up way too late with my friends the night before, and I think I got back to my room at like 5 o'clock in the morning or something like that. Does this sound familiar to some of you? Yes? And, but my problem was I'd completely forgotten to pack anything. I hadn't packed a single thing. It was like, and my parents are going to be here in like 2 hours, and I have to have everything moved out of my room. So, I frantically threw everything that I had into boxes. I tore all the Depeche Mode posters off of the walls. I packed up the IBM PC and the diskettes into a box. Am I dating myself? And so I was only partially successful, but my parents were they were fine with it. They said, okay, we'll load everything in the minivan anyway. We don't know what's going on here. But thanks, Mom. You were great. I appreciate that. But poof, right? In just a few short hours, your time at science and math is going to be over. And that's going to be really shocking. That was really shocking to me. In a lot of ways, my 2 years here were the best years of my life. And, it's really hard to imagine having any kind of experience like living here. I'm sure most of you feel this already, that the ripple effect of your experience here will last your whole life. Just look around. Look at your friends. Look at your teachers. Look at the RAs. This place has made a deep and enduring mark on who you are and who you will be. So coming back here is always, has a really special place in my heart. So this place taught me the one most important lesson I ever learned in my life, and I want to share it with you. I'm sorry you had to go through 2 years of this place to learn this. But it's very simple. Never stop looking. Never stop looking for who you are and where you want to be and how you can make your mark on the world. It's pretty easy. But the thing is that it sometimes takes like a huge change in your life to figure that out. So before coming to science and math, I lived in a small town called Wilson. Anybody here from Wilson? All right. right, let's go get some Bill's barbecue later. Well, I can't say that I fit in that well in Wilson, I'm afraid. For one thing, I didn't have a car, so I couldn't participate in the weekend ritual of driving in circles around the parking mall. That was the main thing that everybody did there in those days. And, you know, other than a few close friends, I didn't feel like there was many people that I really related to all that closely, and didn't have the weird, geeky interests that I had, and people who saw the world in the same way. So fortunately, I came here, and that all changed, right? As soon as I got here, I realized that I had found my people, right? I had found the kindred spirits who I'd been looking for, all these people who are weird and smart and funny and artistic, and you know, the teachers, of course, were hugely inspirational. They had this amazing passion and ability to inspire me. The cafeteria had the most amazing food. Wait, I'm not remembering that correctly either. You stole my food joke, Parth. But it was free. So coming to science and math was the first time I realized that there was a bigger and more incredible and more inspiring world than the narrow confines of my experience to that time. So I'm sure many of you have had this experience here, and I don't want you to forget it. Remember that. Remember that, how you felt when you got here and you got around a completely different set of people and a whole new set of experiences. I think that it's the most important thing you can take away from your time here. This lesson has been reinforced many times in my life. Another time was the first time I had a chance to travel outside of the developed world. I'd lived in Europe during college and after college, so I traveled a bit, but it wasn't until I was a grad student that I traveled to difficult places. My wife and I took a month-long trip to Nepal when we were in grad school, and we spent a month trekking through the Himalaya. You know, I spent the millennium in a small village with no electricity or running water. They didn't even know it was December 31st, 1999, because they have a different calendar. And I'll never forget, you know, speeding through the night of the streets of Kathmandu with cows and goats and motorcycles and bicycles and just water buffalo and all these things just surrounding me. And it just in 10 minutes, my mind just opened up to how big and strange and crazy the world is. And so that was a very, very deep and lasting experience. Over the following years, we traveled to lots of places. We traveled to Papua New Guinea, to Bolivia, to Laos, many others. And if I can leave you with just one thing from today, I'd encourage you to travel the world, see the world, especially while you're young. I don't think enough young people do this. And I think it's one of the most effective ways to broaden your horizons in life. I also learned this lesson of trying to find yourself when I decided to quit my tenured faculty position at Harvard to join Google. Now, a lot of people thought I was crazy for doing this. Having tenure at Harvard means you have a job for life, and it's Harvard. Harvard's an amazing place. You get tremendous freedom. You can work with some of the best students and faculty in the world. In fact, Mark Zuckerberg, the founder of Facebook, was one of my students. Have you seen the movie The Social Network? There's a scene where he's in this computer science lecture. Those are my PowerPoint slides in that lecture. Columbia Pictures paid me $200 for them. I was very, very honored for that. And you know, but in that scene, Mark stormed out of the lecture. He didn't actually do that. He wasn't in lecture often enough for that to happen. But the thing is that being a professor is really, really, really hard work. You have almost no downtime. There's always another deadline, another grant proposal to write, another paper to write, more letters to write, lectures to write. It's a grueling life, and you know, your teachers here work just as hard. So you really need to thank them today. They work their tails off for you. Try to remember that. So after 7 years at Harvard, I got tenure and I decided to start a sabbatical at Google. And making that change from academia to Google felt a heck of a lot like what it was like coming to science and math the first time. I mean, nerds everywhere, right? People wearing socks with sandals. I went to a meeting the other day. This is a true story. I went to a meeting the other day and there was someone in the meeting with a live parrot on his shoulder. Okay, this is totally normal at Google. And just like science and math, they have free food. Although it's, you don't have to work in the cafeteria or rake pine needles for it. So I knew almost from the moment that I got to Google that I had found my kin, that was where I was meant to be. And, learning that took making a huge change in my life. I had to give up a permanent job. I had to move my family across the country, leave behind my students and colleagues. So it was a big risk. It was a huge risk, but the reward was huge. So trying to find out what you want to be doing with your life, I think, is the most important thing you can do. So that's it. Never stop looking. That's it. Pretty simple, right? Never stop looking. You never know what you might find. Okay. And with that, I just want to say congratulations to all of you. Today's a big day. It's your day. Live it up. Don't forget it. That is, if you got any sleep last night. If you didn't, well, the good part's over, so you can go back to sleep now. All right. Thank you very much, and congratulations to the class of 2014.
I'd just like to again thank Dr. Welsh for making the trip across country to be here with us today. Thank you so much for your inspirational words. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
So at this time, Chairman Kuo, I present to you the class of 2014. They have completed all of the requirements for graduation as set forth by the NCSSM Board of Trustees.
Dr. Roberts, on behalf of the Board of Trustees and this school, which represents the citizens of North Carolina, I'm honored to accept your recommendation and authorize the presentation of diplomas.
As we would like to appropriately and respectfully honor all of these extraordinary graduates as they accept their diplomas, if you would, please hold your applause and any individual display of support, however unique and exuberant it may be, until the last diploma has been presented. Thank you, and at this time we will recognize the class of 2014.
That's all right. You ready? Andrew Shea Hill Adams. Anushri Adia. Jackson Harold Allen. Gerardo Fermin Alvarado. Mona Hemant Amin. Alexandria Phillips Anagnos. Ethan Scott Anderson. Ayano Melody Elizabeth Annis. Russell Henry Aikwe Aite. Sarah Miriam Augustine. Amir Adib Azihad. Lawrence Alston Gira Bakudio. Mary Boyd Barefoot. Jovan Jimmy Basilius. Madison Lilia Batten. Mia Olivia Baxley. Gabrielle Corinne Beaudry. Courtney Sierra Bell. John Harry Bell IV. Adam Nicholas Byer. Elizabeth Ann Bingham. Trace Camden Birchfield. Megan Danielle Blackstock. Marlisha Donshay Blakeney. Amy Elizabeth Blue. Andrea Damone Boone. Katrina Lillian Boots. Tyler Alex Boquette Karen. Cameron Joseph Bowes. Zachary Stephen Bradshaw. Eduardo Bravo Escudero. Lillian Madden Brewster. Jacob Allen Greenwald. Evan Cortez Brooks. Duncan Andrew Brown. Isaiah McCain Bryant. Ruthanna Josephine Buchanan. Marley J. Butler. David James Calvert. Lynn Chow. Benjamin Morris Smith Carlin. Mallory Lee Carnes. Aaron Moran Cheshire. Kanika Michelle Chalk. Sue Young Cho. David Choi. Sarah Chong. Samuel Austin Christensen. Elizabeth Ann Christopher. Angel Nadenma Chukwu. Sierra Elise Cipriani. Ashley Ann Cleveland. Sarah Elizabeth Colbert. Caitlin Marie Collier. Caroline Ann Conrad. Nia Renee Cruz. Chelsea Lauren Cronin. David Earl Cuppet V. Rachel Francis Dango. Joanna Temple Daniel. Orlanta Jazay Darden. Daniel Weldon Deans. Samuel Patrick Doherty. Danielle Page Dejanay. Brian Daniel Hopkins Delante. Priya Jatandra Desai. Karya Rodert Dibert. David Harper Dixon. James Gerald DeMuzio. Meredith Chandler Dormany. Will Joseph Duncan. Allie Marie Eakes. Sheridan Elizabeth Earnhardt. Benjamin Lewis Ellis. Chatham Davis Elwanger. Carolyn Alice Emerson. Brooks Nathaniel Estes. Mungmung Tong Fang. Catherine May Farmer. Anne Yichin Fang. Madeline Julia Finnegan. Thomas Champion Flint. Taylor Meredith Fort. Emily Amanda Faust. Dylan Ray Friedel. Kelsey Lillian Gallant. Ga K. Gao. Gao Jussi. Celia Brianna Gentry. Madeline Adriana Gonzalez. Laura Helena Goodman. Grace Elizabeth Gordon. William Key Gottenstrader. Shori Venkata Gadaparthi. Simone Ellen Grant. Ava Caldwell Gruchez. Grace Guo.
Lisa Gray. Miss Lisa Gray.
Victoria, yes, I did. I'm sorry. Zia Victoria Gray. Sorry. Grace Guo. Emily Elizabeth Hagstrom. Jason Key Hahn. Jessie Marie Hansen. Abigail Elizabeth Harden. Elizabeth Marie Hayes. Chase Landon Hayhurst. Amy Madison Hefner. Lindsay Allison Helms. Andrew James Henry. Isabella Marie Hernandez. Charles Mark Hicks III. Colin Wade Hines. Elliot Gregory Holliday. Jung Soo Hong. Matthias Harder Horst. Stefan Marcus Howie. Julia Hu. Brooke Roran Hong. Jen Sin Huang. Joseph Paul Eichard. Addie Lynn Jackson. Rachel Lynn Jackson. Shayna Marie Jacobs. Kavirith Jane. Hope Margaret Jania. Patrick Raleigh Jennings. Joshua David Jiang. Camille Alexis Johnson. David Rachel Johnson. Devin Rachel Johnson. Caitlin Marie Johnson. Tessa Marin Jones. Elias Edward Jordan IV. Soren A. Cantasaria. Michael Anthony Kearney. Lakshmi Boyi Kathesvaran. Jalen LaShawn Kilgore. Blair Michelle Killian. Paul Hyman Kim. Bradley Jefferson King. Logan Blaine Kirkland. Joseph Allen Carolus. Alexis Vanessa Knox. Tawalade Kwansala Kogbe. Sarah Elise Court. Matthew Aaron Kohlberg. Madeline Elizabeth Krebs. Hakara Patricia Catul. Nathan Hun Kwan. Oluwatomi Latifa Ladapo. Christopher Michael Legale. Andrew Levio Lash. Margaret Shelby Lassiter. Wen Fung Lei. Brittany Nicole Ledford. Anne Lee. Jessica Betty Lee. Regina Gentile Lee. Samuel J. Huang Lee. Yvonne Iwan Lay. Duncan Wiles LeMay. Warren Richard LeMay. Erwin Zafong Lee. Stephen Liao. Sydney Liauga Lasanza. Lin Lin Lu. Lindsay Ray Locklear. Stephen Lucas Locklear. Mallory Ann Lowe. Hong Shang Lu. Carter Elizabeth Lucas.
Lindsay Danielle Macchio. Anna Elizabeth Mangum. Chase Alexander Mansell. Jonathan Carl Marquette. Casey Tafford Marshall. Catherine Hope Martin. Melissa Danielle Mason. Gabrielle Joy Musso. Travis Joshua McKay. Hannah Leah McShay. Allison Kathleen Melling. Samantha Hazel Michael. Evan Gerard Miles. Nicholas Craig Felipe Munson. Erica Sharon Munshi. Layla Nmak. Jacob Alexander Nestor. Kimlin Mylan Ngo. Vanny Huang Nguyen. Matthew Joseph Nichols. Emily Nicole Nicholson. Jeremy Noti Norte. Ugochi Chidala Wamara. Itiosa Osama Obana. Lucas Arthur O'Daniel. Gyeong-suk Danny O. Pranya Organtu. Margaret Jingwei Han. Narav Pancholi. Kevin James Parham. Elizabeth Elaine Parker. Lamara Elizabeth Parnell. Akash Dilip Patel. Hino Shuram Patel. Parth Karan Patel. Pooja Divyang Patel. Maggie Elizabeth Hazer. Andrew Robert Peterson. Ryan Christopher Phillips. Vivek Anand Prasharadi. Zachary Thomas Polizzi. Walker Hopkins Powell. Timothy Shi. Suhana Raghunathan. Dion Marcus Ramos Pearson. Harrison Craig Rashley. Shradna Nitash Prathad. McKenna Olivia Reed. Joshua Marsh Race Jones. Mitch Westwick Race Jones. Isabel Lenore Reed. Jenna Yvonne Reynolds. Hunter Taft Rideout. Quade David Robinson. Caleb Lawrence Rogers. Thomas Edward Romero. Erin Alexandra Rumaszewski. Thamar Santillan. Kanan Amit Kumar Shaw. Gabriel Brett Shepard. Numala Kanagol Shavakumar. Matthew Christopher Simpson. Mary Elizabeth Sims. Urvi Sinha. Holly Erica Slang. Harold Thomas Slaughter III. Hannah Brown Sloan. Carrie Ruth Smetana. Abigail Marie Smith. Alex Gail Smith. Creighton Dixon Smith. Jumanji Shaquan Smith. Mary Lynn Smith. Paul Charles Smith. Brian Emmanuel Spells. Anna Catherine Strawn. Lucy Chi Su. Anshu Verdantam Subramaya. Jessica Gray Sullivan. Nicholas Blake Taylor. Parth Chitan Thacker. Alexandria Marie Thompson. Margaret Mongchi Tian. Maxwell Ryan Tucker. James Hisung Kieran Thomas Bolokuzi. Claire Elizabeth Bollery. Vahash Verma. Jacob Christopher Vosbro. Madeline Diane Wagoner. Ann Wyhoff Walker. Jabril Amin Walker. Kaya Jade Walker. Hannah Ashley Walrath. Alice Xinyu Wang. Nicole Caitlin Ward. Dallas Lee Warren. Matthew Ryan Weaver. Evelyn Elise Webb. Savannah June Weeks. Stuart Allen Wells. Jeremy Mackay Wasanga. Claire West. Hannah Pearl West. Ryan Brentley West. Elizabeth Rachel Westbrook. Kara Marie Wheeler. Megan Waity Wicks. Carl Alexander Whitney. Noah Gray Wilson. Philip Murray Wilson. Simon Nicholas Wolf. Serafina Bianca Wong. Teddy Wong. Adrian Leah Wood. Amber Renee Weddington. Caroline Elizabeth Wright. Jennifer Barbara Wu. Charlotte Page Wolf. Madison Grace Wyatt. Waylin Shi. Mihan Xiu. Spencer Donald Yakas. Stephen Chong Yang. Zihai Yang. Dallin Everett Yost. Abigail Francis Yance. Christopher Chinlang Yu. Julia Yu. Sean Yu. Quan Yuan. Philip Mark Zindels. Yi Zhang. Derek Tuling Zhang. Jeffrey Mingha Zhang. Jinya Zhang. Lillian Lu Zhang. Michelle Xian Zhao. Christopher Ha Zin. Wang Yu Zhao. Warren Parker Zelke.
Well, class of 2014, as I mentioned earlier, while today is a time for reflection, it's also a time for looking forward. You have so much to look forward to and so much you can accomplish. I encourage you to continue accepting the greater challenge wherever you may go, guided by your passion, your great intellect, and your even greater character. I also hope that as you go forward throughout the years to come, you'll remember the opportunity given to you these past 2 years by this great state and through the support of the many alumni who've come before you. Remember your responsibility as the 32 classes before you have to ensure that future generations of North Carolinians have the same or even greater opportunities than you've had. The passing this week of the great poet Maya Angelou made me think back on some of her works with which I'm familiar. On Thursday, I had the opportunity to reread one of my favorite of her works, On the Pulse of Morning. I remember teaching this poem to students in my class many years ago now. Reading the poem again at this time, I could not help but think of today and the message I believe it carries for the class of 2014. The poem is one of great hope. The poem speaks to the importance of remembering and how what we take from our past can help us chart the course for a new, unknown, and hopeful future. In particular, I believe the last two stanzas of the poem are apropos for each of you today. And they read, "The horizon leans forward, offering you space to place new steps of change. Here on the pulse of this fine day, you may have the courage to look up and out upon me, the rock, the river, the tree, your country. No less to Midas than the mendicant, no less to you now than the mastodon then. Here on the pulse of this new day, you may have the grace to look up and out and into your sister's eyes, into your brother's face, your country, and say simply, with hope, good morning. It is with the great hope that you instill in me, and that which I wish for each of you, that I say on the pulse of this good morning, congratulations, North Carolina School of Science and Mathematics, class of 2014. At this time, I'd like to invite everyone to the commencement reception hosted by the NCSSM Parents Council on the Bryan Lawn. Let's please stand to honor the class of 2014 as they recess.